Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and a lot of you might have seen this week that there is a judge in Louisville, Kentucky, which happens to be my hometown, Justice Olu Stevens, who is really taking a stand on issues that relate to race. And I wanted to talk about this because I think that he's bringing up some really interesting issues about all white juries sending black people to prison. And to talk about this, I brought in actually two of my students from the Black Wealth Boot Camp, two black women who are just doing amazing things. They are the founders of the company Ateco. And I want to welcome Miss Shaquita Graham and Miss Rashida Range. How are you ladies doing?
Hey, boys.
We're doing great, boys. Thanks for having us here. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm really well, and I want people to know why I reached out to talk to you both about this because you brought the Olu Stevens situation to my attention actually, and you actually reached out to the judge. You didn't just talk about it. You didn't just see the story and say, "Ooh, that's bad," or just tell your friends about it. You actually reached out and wrote a letter in support to the judge. And let me tell people why this would have happened. Well, Justice Stevens took a stand where he basically banned a jury. He dismissed a jury because they were all white. And he said, look, we live in a city that's 20% black, but the jails are 55% black. And you got these all white juries sending black people to prison. That's wrong. He took a stand. Next thing you know, I guess it's Tom Wine, who's one of the, I guess what is he, the head prosecuting or district attorney? Maybe I have to go look that up.
Yeah, he's like a politician that's for all white juries.
Yeah, so he's sort of fighting against that, and you wrote to Justice Stevens, and then he wrote you back, and then you wrote him again, and then he wrote you back again. So apparently he must really like you or something. I'm not sure, but but he really said some compelling stuff. So tell me about that. Your thinking as you kind of saw this thing unfold.
Well, Dr. Boyce, what I love about Your Black World and your brand is that you inspire us to love ourselves enough to be supportive and protective of one another.
Mhm.
So when I heard about this, I felt that it was my duty to show my support for this person. I mean, we oftentimes in our community, we let other people tell us who the leaders should be, who our heroes should be. But for me, I decided that I needed to make this judge aware that he is a hero to me, that he's an American hero, because he took a stand against something that is a part of the legacy of America, continuing legacy, the all white jury. I mean, this came before the Supreme Court in the 1800s, and it's before the Supreme Court now. Just the idea of excluding black people from the jury for the purpose of having an all white jury, no other purpose. And the question, can be why, but I've long ago stopped asking those questions. But the question that I do ask is, what are we going to do? And one of the things that I decided to do is, number one, support people who are supportive of the black community where justice so often misses us. So that's what led me to reach out to him.
Interesting. So Rashida, now I see you a lot on social media, and you're very vocal about black issues, very enthusiastic about supporting your community, and that's one of the things I respect so much. And so you've been following this, and from what I understand, you've had some strong opinions on it. Can you kind of tell me what thoughts go through your mind as you kind of see this unfold and Justice Stevens standing up?
Yeah, boys, with me, my main thing seeing that was wow. I was like, right on. And I instantly posted it to my page because I said, wow, this is something that has been going on and you hear about it so much. And to finally see somebody actually make that move was like incredible to me. So, I looked at it at first, I was very impressed. And really, to be honest with you, I don't know how people feel about the political system. I honestly say that I don't have too much faith in it. So, I think that the system is broken. I don't think that, I don't think that black people are working together. And I think that if we don't work together, we won't make any gains. Nevertheless, I did feel as though, he was somebody that needed to be recognized because of the courageous move that he made. So I was really happy about that.
Okay, so Shaquita, I want to read a little bit from what Justice Stevens wrote to you. I mean, you two seem to have a good back and forth, which I thought was really interesting. And I want to kind of ask you, what your take is in terms of where things stand right now for the justice. So the last letter he sent says, "Thank you for your interest in this matter. We are trying to bring to light what is happening here in Louisville, Kentucky. The defendant, an African American man, was acquitted by a jury of his peers. After his acquittal, the Jefferson Commonwealth attorney Thomas B. Wine filed a motion with the Kentucky Supreme Court to determine I was incorrect in dismissing an all white jury panel. I did not receive a copy of his motion. His claim is that I discriminated against the all white jury panel and by declaring them, he discriminated by declaring them unable to be fair and impartial. That is not true. But the issue is not the ability of white jurors to be fair and impartial, it is the right of black jurors to have the same opportunity." Uh, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Duke University did a study on this in 2012, and it was very clear after looking at 700 cases that all white juries convict black people 20% at least more than they do white defendants. And when there is even just a few black people on the jury pool, the conviction rate is around the same for black and white people. So, you know, there are studies that bear out what we're saying, and it's obvious. But where it stands right now is that I love the fact that this judge took a stand. I believe that people in our community should support leaders like this,
Hmm.
and we should take inspiration from heroes like this to say, you know what, it's not enough for me to make it to the bench as a judge. I need to make sure that my people are free and that they're receiving justice and that I'm a part of that. There's so many people, so many judges that allow white juries to march into their courtroom, and they allow the prosecutors to strike all the black jurors because they're black, which is before the Supreme Court right now, and they don't say anything. There's the teacher in South Carolina who sat by and let a police officer brutally attack a young girl and stood by. There's a black police officer that watched the white police officer shoot a black citizen in the back and defended this person. So where it stands for me is I want to be inspired to make a stand in my own life, in my own profession. And I encourage other people to do the same thing. You know, it's clear what proponents of these kind of policies want to do, but what's unclear is what are we going to do.
Interesting. Okay, so Rashida, now you one of the things that I like about your enthusiasm that I see on social media, you tend to really jump toward black causes, very enthusiastically, and I think that that's really powerful because what it makes me think about is exactly what Shaquita was talking about, this sort of slave mentality where we work so hard we'll work overtime to defend the massa, but we won't do anything for each other, right? And so do you think that we're sort of moving in a new direction in terms of the ability of black people to come together just through social media the way you do and connecting and really empowering each other? Because from what I understand with this judge, now there's a lot of publicity around this case just from us talking about it on Facebook and stuff like that, which is obviously causing a reaction. I'm sure the people in the district attorney's office are kind of like, "What's going on?" Stuff like that. I mean, do you think that that we're kind of tapping into something special here? And how do you how does that make you feel as a black woman?
It makes me feel really good because I haven't been a big fan of social media for a few years now, and I reluctantly got back into it, and I'm really happy because we come from the industrial age basically, and now we're looking at our children. You know, they can use computers better than we can. Social media has allowed me to reach people in other countries, people, nationally that have the same views, like-minded people that feel the same way, and it just makes you feel, kind of like what you're doing with, with the Black Wealth Boot Camp, the Black Wealth Academy. It's like a family feeling because, like you were saying, Shaquita, there's so many of us who will sit back and talk, but we're not putting anything into action. Social media has allowed us to all kind of just get together and bounce off of each other. So it I feel really good about it. I honestly do. I think that we're able to touch many lives, many people with just, this video. There's all different platforms of social media, of course. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I feel really good about it, boys. Yeah.
Well, what I really love, and I guess we can close on this because I think it spins back into what you all do as the co-CEOs of Ateco. I assume is that your formal title, co-CEOs?
Yes.
Okay, I just
Yes.
want to make sure. As the co-CEOs of this and co-founders of this technology platform, I mean, you're teaching children technology, which is building the next generation because technology does include social media, which is deeper than just knowing JavaScript and all that stuff. It's about changing people's lives. I mean, technology sparks revolutions. It's caused trillions of dollars in commerce. It's affected so many people's lives, allowing them to live in ways they never thought they could live. It's connected people from all over the globe. I mean, I don't know if I told you all, but when we released the Boyce Watkins app a couple days ago, and literally, my manager was going down the list of all the countries that all the
I saw
downloaders.
that.
I saw that
I
too.
mean,
Yeah.
it was like countries I'd never heard of. I mean, yeah. It's just to me a beautiful thing because it's really reshaping the world. I mean, before people had to sort of come together and form geographic clumps. Now we can form demographic clumps where geography becomes secondary. You can live in
Right.
the middle of Alaska or Siberia or China, and you can still connect to that family every day in a seamless fashion. And I think that to me is powerful. And what I like, and I want to say thank you for really pushing the Olu Stevens case, in my face. I mean, I saw it, but I was busy. I kind of missed it. But when you forwarded me, what he wrote and what you wrote to him, that even reminded me that we can do more. We can really support him because white supremacy wins when we're fighting by ourselves. That's the abuse
Wow.
happens when
Oh my
when
God.
the world is built on kind of this gang mentality, and they kind of they pick us off one by one because we're
Mhm.
standing around a bunch of scared Negroes who won't stand up. But if they know they have an
All
army
right.
behind them of people that live in other parts of the world, maybe next time they'll think twice before they try to pull the same old okey doke. So I want to say thank you, ladies, so much. I really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr. Boyce.
boys.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Well, this is Miss Shaquita Graham and Rashida Range, and they are the co-CEOs of Ateco, Attecho, and that's a company that they're
A
launching.
T
See, oh,
T E C H C O.com.
CACO. Sorry. See, I did it wrong. I did it wrong.
okay.
My bad. But make sure you support, and I'm going to put the URL down in the description, and make sure you support the company. This is one of the companies that's launching out of the Black Wealth Bootcamp. Remember, the goal is to not just become empowered socially, but to actually gain additional empowerment economically. If we control our money and we create commerce, we create industry within our own community, then we can create jobs, and we don't end up in situations where we're victimized by people who control everything. So until we meet again, everybody, thank you all for checking us out. Once again, go to ateco.com when you get a chance. And thank you once again to my special guests. And I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Until we meet again, stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.